They'll blanket you in Wi-Fi and profit off the radiation. Congregation collecting the people for that Satan. I keeps it blazing, cause I can read between the lines. I ain't blind, we unwind what they're really saying. Genetically modify what you're tasting. Don't need that cottage promise, so now you live up in your mom's basement. Redesign time so your mind is always wasted. Programmed to crave the basics. Keep the beta in stasis. Pay the state, kid. You're in debt for being born. Messengers are mourn, just the price for being warned. Don't be alarmed, disconnect from their machinations. Stop subscribing to the folly of own nations. Bone breaking ain't the answer, cause they seek the ownership of souls. Spread the seeds and watch them grow. Break the chains of control. Break the chains of control.
Sweet eternal balance of all that is good, true, and beautiful, friends. Tonight on Rogueways, I am excited to get to shoot the shit once again with my friends who bring the heat and keep it real by diving down any conspiracy rabbit hole they can find and not backing down from anything in the way. They're the pedophile hunting, white rabbit tracking, numerology crunching seekers of ancient wisdom and esoteric knowledge, and they're not holding any punches. Welcome, Jonathan and Jacob from Cult of Conspiracy. How are you guys doing tonight?
Yes, I love it. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
To hear our whole repertoire laid out like that, God, that was
You're
I
like,
got a little tear.
you're like, yeah, I'm a badass, aren't I? That's how you should feel.
Yeah.
oh my God, you are though, totally.
Well, I want to, just before I jump into it with you guys, announce to everybody, I'm very excited about this. We're going to do an art contest. So anybody out there who's an artist or crafty sort of person or whatever it is you do, you're going to create anything you want that is Rogueways or Middle Path. Middle Path is cool too. Anything you feel like represents the show or the content of the show, the spirit of the show, the community of the show, and anything that you love, you can design it, draw it, or otherwise represent it in any visual way. And then you're just going to post it. You can post it in Telegram chat. That is t.me/roguewayschat. You can post it on locals, rogue.locals.com. You can post it on Twitter or Instagram and just tag me in it. Any way that you can get me that art. And then in a handful of weeks, we're going to put all of our submissions together. We're going to have a vote, and the one that wins is going to be featured in the Rogueways merch shop, which is on TeePublic. Speaking of TeePublic, if you go to the Rogueways shop right now, it might be today, it might start tomorrow, but it's like 50% off sale. So click the link down below you wherever you're watching or listening, and you can head over there and see what's already there. And hopefully your art will be added to the shop, and you get to see your design on t-shirts, and people can wear it as the cool swag that it is. So very excited for this contest. If you would like to participate, just do any of those ways of submitting your design, and it'll be awesome. Oh, and if you know any artistic or crafty friends who want to join in, tell them too. The more the merrier. Everybody gets to participate. Maybe we'll even pick more than one design. And so back to you guys. The pointless question of the episode today is, what are the key ingredients for the most perfect level of comfort that you can attain?
Personally speaking?
Yeah, just for you. For you individually. What's the most comfortable situation you can imagine?
Not worrying about finances, kids
that.
happy and healthy, and a glass of whiskey in my hand and a cigar in my other hand, and that's about as good living as I could pull.
That's pretty. I didn't even think about the monetary stress part of it. I really like that mental level.
I hate being an adult, but at the same time, I find myself there now. It's like, with any luck, I hope to stay a grown-ass kid the rest of my life. Unfortunately, I have to keep adulting, so it's like, look, if we're gonna do that, let's just do that comfortably.
Yeah, yeah. Keep it as comfy as we can along the way. I like that.
What about you, man?
I would say the most comfortable I could be is whenever I'm in meditation. Like, I'll just be sitting on my bed, my daughter's down to sleep. I don't have to worry about her or anything. And just sitting in my bed, legs crossed. And I like to listen to a little bit of 432 hertz meditation. And I'll just, I don't know, it feels like 5 minutes, but it lasts about 30 or 40 minutes. And it gets me completely out of my body. And I don't know, I guess into the ethereal realm. And that just seems to be the most comfortable because I don't have to worry about any physicality of it. Like, there's no work there. It's the most relaxing I could ever feel.
I love that.
It's so different. I'm more in the physical realm. You're more in the spiritual realm. But that's how we are as people.
Yeah.
That's our dynamic, you know what I mean?
For sure.
That's perfect. That's how it should be reflected then. I didn't think about the mental at all, and I didn't think about meditation, but it's so interesting and true what you say. I lead meditations twice a week with a group. If anybody wants to join us, you can go to rogueways.org and grab the monthly meditation membership. But we'll often be meditating, and in my head, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a quick meditation, only like 10 minutes or whatever. And then we get done, and it's been like 35 minutes, and I'm like, holy shit, like, this is amazing. Like,
meditation, that's way too quick.
there's something about like doing it as a group too that gets you even deeper, because I can do it on my own and have the same experience, but doing it with a group is always that experience. Like, it's easier. It's pretty incredible. So I'm with you there on that. I was thinking more like feet in a, hot like foot soak thing and like, fluffy like robe or something. But now I'm thinking more about what you guys are saying. That's a good answers.
You gave like the quintessential female answer as well.
True. Like it was chocolate and a candle, like
right, a candle, chocolate, pedicure, like
yes.
Of course, totally. I'm here for it.
That's awesome. And now I'm also like, ooh, actually, I did my first float. Have you guys ever done the sensory deprivation floats?
I want to.
I
so
have,
bad.
but not in the realm of. Anyway, moving forward.
I want to know what you were gonna say now. Saucy.
More of the adult content as far as sensory deprivation goes. But anyway, moving forward.
I like that. Yeah, I had always been kind of scared of it. I was like, I don't know, man. We were talking a little before the show about some different herbal plant medicines, and I was explaining how I go a bit far now. Like like a tiny bit can take me like really deep down, and I thought that might happen to me with these sensory deprivation tanks. I was like, I don't know, am I gonna start like tripping in there? Am I gonna go to another universe or dimension? Like, I don't really know if I want to do that in a shop, like in someone's like building. So like, it just doesn't feel really right. But it wasn't like that at all. It was just the most relaxing thing I think I've ever done. It was really
sensory
cool.
deprivation takes a lot of trust, and you have to be in the right headspace to do it for sure. And that regardless of whether it's you and another person or you in a float or something like that, because you're fully handing over the keys to yourself. Because like in that place, you're super vulnerable, and that takes a lot of trust to even be vulnerable with oneself, let alone with anyone else. So no doubt.
Good point.
Yeah, I've always really wanted to try it. I've heard it talked about on other podcasts and everything like that. And, like it's so crazy because it's like you can't see anything, you can't feel anything. Because I know that they heat they make the water the exact temperature of your body. And
That's legit.
yeah, so that it's completely sensory deprived. And so yeah, I definitely got to check that out. I got to tell my girl I need that for my birthday or something.
Yeah, you have to. I just found this float spa, I guess, in my town, and they have all these sales. They'll be like, oh, package deal, get like an hour float and a salt thing and all this other stuff for like $80. And I'm like, that's crazy cheap. Like, I will do this all the time now if I can. It's pretty cool. I guess people are saying your volume is really low for them, so I don't know if you guys can.
Do we need to speak into the mic?
I guess so. You just have to be bent over the whole time.
We could definitely
Get
sit
a little
closer.
All right. That works. I wanted to ask you guys, did you grow up like immersed in all of this culture and conspiracy, or was when you were young, were you like into this sort of shit?
You go first.
No, I wasn't into it at all. Like whenever I was growing up, I'm from Pennsylvania originally. We live in Louisiana now, but in Pennsylvania, it was more so like I couldn't have been more blue-pilled as a kid. Like, I mean, I think probably most kids are. That most kids probably aren't looking into JFK or 9/11 or the fake moon landings or anything like that. But for me, that didn't really start until, honestly, like 5 or 6 years ago. Like, I just started going down rabbit holes. Like, I got, I was in my apartment and like I didn't have cable, and so I was just like, let's see what's on YouTube. Back whenever YouTube wasn't censoring everything. And I just started going down all these crazy rabbit holes, whether it be like near-death experiences or certain conspiracies. The Illuminati was a big one 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, it still is, but it was like, crazy then. And so really, it's just like one rabbit hole after another, and there's no end to it. It's like a never-ending void in space that like you're never gonna find the bottom of. It's a complete black hole. Right. There's never gonna be a time where you're like, oh my God, I have now experienced every conspiracy. Like, it's not possible. And so it started out as just a hobby, and then I started listening to other podcasts and everything. I was like, you know what? It'd be pretty cool, like to start a podcast talking about it, even if we only got like a few people. And now here we are, you know, like it's pretty awesome knowing that we actually got, you know, a good bit of people listening to us. It makes you feel good, you know?
No doubt. And for me, I growed up. Jesus, I can't speak
Yeah,
tonight.
growed up.
Growing up, same blue pilled as hell. I mean, I remember when 9/11 happened. Things kind of didn't add up to me, but at the same time, I was in like the 4th grade, so what do I know? You know, I remember thinking the moon landing was fake. I remember JFK. There was way more shit to that than what they actually led on to, but it didn't really take hold of me until I got to high school. A buddy of mine, who was in New York at the time, as a matter of fact, was there for 9/11. He showed me a YouTube video about the 9/11 conspiracy. And I was like, what are you talking? There's not a conspiracy. After 10 minutes of watching this video, I was hooked. And it kind of took hold from that point forward. So I was the only conspiracy head in my family for the longest time. Like my mom and my grandmother, who are major influences to make me who I am, for sure. They agreed that JFK, there was some bullshit. They may or may not have believed in the moon landing, whatever. But once I actually started introducing them more and more to conspiracies as a whole, that became the topic of our discussion every night at the dinner table. My dad hates it. To this day, he still hates it. He is, all right, you ever seen that 70s show?
Yeah.
My dad is the nicest Red Foreman you'll ever meet.
I love it.
Like he's the sweetest dude ever, but at the same time, it's all a bunch of dumbass, just that's that shit. Here y'all go on that YouTube again. Like, all right, dude, come on. You don't believe any of this. You believe the government is like out to help us, really? More and more though these days, aside from, you know, the big ones, Sasquatch and all the stuff that everybody has said for years, with the political climate the way it is, you can't look at it and not be a little like, okay, something's not right here. You know what I'm saying?
For real. It seems so obvious at this point, where it was before. You had to do a little digging. You had to like kind of know people or have the right books or find the right YouTube videos, which is, it's interesting. You both have like YouTube as a key part of your waking up. So it's yet again proves them right, that they do have to censor it if they want people to not know things. Because it was the easiest way to find information when it came about. But that's not always, you know, happening for people, and I completely lost my train of thought.
No, it's still, I mean, it's not happening anymore because, I mean, everything, if it's not censored on YouTube, it is, it's hidden. You know, it used to be like you could type in, you know, certain topics, flat earth, like I went down a huge flat earth rabbit hole for like months. And it was so easy to find these videos. And now you type in flat earth, it's everybody debunking it.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing on Google, and honestly, it might even be the same thing on DuckDuckGo these days. I haven't really caught up with it, but
DuckDuckGo's not perfect. It's
yeah.
a little better.
But then even when I was coming up into it, because of my faith, I started looking at end time prophecy and how that tied into the status of the world today. There's a pastor by the name of Perry Stone, who that's like his main message is Book of Revelations, Book of Ezekiel, end time prophetic stuff, which I got super, super into. And then when you look at it and how that's neck and neck with what's actually happened today, you can't not be more aware of it. You know what I'm saying? Third eye open and shit. But yeah, so that's how I look at it. Not everything is conspiracy, but at the same time, everything seems to be a conspiracy when you break it all down. And especially how it ties into my faith. So it's another loop for me, you know.
Someone in the chat, Bonnie, is saying use Gibiru.com, Gibiru. I haven't heard of that yet as a chat or as a search function, and I think Brave might also be okay. But yeah, these things are totally censored and controlled. You know, I have however many followers on Facebook, but maybe 1 or 2 might be seeing this right now or ever. If they're ever shown this post, like that would be amazing. On YouTube, I have people constantly. I will watch actually a comment just be there, and then all of a sudden it just disappears. I'm like, what the?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, we actually we had to stop going on YouTube. It was getting to a point, and we tried going on BitChute and Odyssey and like all these other platforms and everything, but to be honest, I'm really not the most technical person, and it was hard for me to understand most of it. But YouTube was just the easiest. And, at first it was like, oh, it was fun, because I guess we were talking about the fun conspiracies, aliens and Bigfoot. They're not going to censor that.
But every time we got into something with some depth, we got banned, we got strikes, we got kicked. And it was like, if we're not going to do the whole thing, then we're not going to do it.
Right, right, and that's why Rockfin, like, I mean, that's the
Rockfin!
platform. It is
doubt.
the platform to go to, and everything. Not even just because we're on there, but like
Yeah.
everybody that's on there is just like, there's no garbage on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's I don't know. It's everything that like used to be on YouTube. And that's why it's the
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
I just want them to improve their search function. It's actually really shitty. It's hard to find things on Rockfin by like the title of the video or the content of the video. It's easy to find channels. It's not easy to find videos. So hopefully they, you know, they're always working out more and more kinks. That's my one criticism so far. But we have such a good community here on Rockfin, and all the people who are on YouTube right now watching us, we're going to jump to just Rockfin, and it's not because of any reason except that YouTube will cancel my entire channel and like whatever tiny meager little bits they've allowed me to have this far will be deleted. So instead of doing that, I just go to Rockfin only. It's free. Anybody can click right below you wherever you're watching or listening and just hop right over to Rockfin and join us there. And just speaking of that, I'm just gonna call it now because I'm sure we're about to get into some shit that will get us all canceled. So bye bye YouTube.